military sites versus perhaps civilian sites. We don't know where these drones are.
Hi guys, welcome back to Elder Scrolls Online.
But the good news is
New event coming up. Should be in about a couple days or so.
So their ability to carry this on.
But it's the Thieves Guild event.
So
if you end up pickpocketing a person, you get the Thieves Guild DLC for free. And from what I understand, I've already had it years ago, so for me it's no big deal. But from what I understand, you do the Cave Dweller achievement, which there's 2 caves there. You take on 2 bosses of the caves, 1 in each one. And you get the Cave Dweller achievement there on Hews Bane, which is where it'll be. And then you get a horse, fortune teller horse. As far as I know is it. There's more stuff coming, of course.
The David Sling program, that sort of medium range missile defense system, is a joint breakdown.
So here's my alternate from way back when.
American asset in a way that's there,
and I checked out the storyline.
There is increasingly a joint program.
And it just so happened that Hews Bane, the Thieves Guild storyline and all that, is you can play it at any time in the game. So there's no real repercussions to it or anything. So, with that said, I'm going to make another Khajiit called Never Stealz again. I'm going to have the same name. And instead of the Gold Coast, will be at Hews Bane. And we'll do the Thieves Guild line here. So this would be like a subset series of what I'm doing regularly with my other guy.
To try and send a message, it may just be these drones. And
just so nobody gets confused, I'll definitely put it down below what's going on. Because most people may not hear this or, you know, want to read instead or whatever, so.
It was designed to terrorize the world by shutting down oil production. It actually wound up not being a
so let's do it.
Saudi Aramco was very successful at getting back up and running, heroic even in what they were able to do. But then there was a back and forth for the next couple of months. Ultimately, President Trump made the decision to eliminate Qasem Soleimani in early January of 20, and that's what actually shut the Iranians down, and they were then quiet for the foreseeable future, at least for the rest of the Trump term. And why haven't they been shut down now, the Iranians? I think, unfortunately, from my perspective, the Biden administration has just been way too apologetic and too conciliatory towards the Iranians. They have stopped enforcing all of the oil sanctions, allowing the Iranians to primarily sell to China at a discounted price. They've got tons more money, over 200 barrels a day.
Okay, now.
So they're much more flush with cash. And they also have not been brushed back strongly. I mean, they've attacked us over 100 times since October 7th. We've lost
stamina build. It's what I'm looking for, stamina build. So what do we got? Dragon Knight, which is a no for me. Sorcerer is good.
Basically, the strategy that is or is not needed when dealing with the terrorists in Tehran. We see if you give them an inch, they take them on. We see the sanctions, the oil sanctions. You see the money being sent to Tehran. They're just the decades still call for death to America. They hate the West, and they continue to target the Jewish state to eliminate it. What is your view on some of those strategic issues?
I think Stamina Templar.
Sometimes caution could be very strategic.
Stamina Sorcerer doesn't make any sense.
He didn't get interested in getting embroiled in yet another war in the Middle East, but he knew that if they kept pushing, eventually you have to brush them back. You have to let them know that you're serious. And the Iranians are essentially bullies. They try to take advantage of the weak. They try to exploit folks that are dependent on them. They're very abusive.
To Templar.
But when you stand up to them and you make it clear that we have capabilities they don't, and that is
female.
Us and the Israelis, and they weren't prepared to use those and reach out and touch them in ways they hadn't anticipated. that's when they might back down. So I'm hoping that the White House tonight is looking at some more creative options than we've been using for the last 6 months.
Doesn't really matter this one. We'll make them the same.
Thank you, Eric.
And Eric, thank you. Well, Florida Republican Congressman Carlos Jimenez is joining us now. Congressman, thank you so much for being here. I do want to start with this because, as you well know, next week the House is set to vote on a standalone Israel aid bill. No funding for Ukraine, no funding for the border. How will you vote, sir?
Well, absolutely. I stand with Israel. Always will stand with Israel.
Okay.
That the speaker brings forward.
It's Kajiti time.
Ukraine, because I believe that we need to help Ukraine. Look, this is all, it's all joined. Iran is helping Russia with weapons. It's China, Iran, Russia, and North Korea. That's they want to establish a new world order, and here they're poking us again in the Middle East and trying to really do harm to our greatest ally in the Middle East, which is Israel. But I'm standing with Israel, and whatever we can do to help Israel, I'll be there.
And we're going to focus on Israel, but I do want to pick up that you said it's time for standalone packages.
Make you small.
As well, and keeping in mind that you've got the puppet masters behind this, Russia and Iran, working together. Do you think, given that we are now looking at live pictures at 11:31 p.m. Over Israel, that we are in a hot war? You've got drones on the way there somewhere. We're not exactly sure where. Do you think that, given that there's a hot war in place, in progress right now, that some of the bipartisan bickering will be set aside?
Yeah, well, actually, it's bipartisan bickering. We have disagreements inside our own conference. Sometimes I don't recognize, our conference anymore. So we need to get by that. We need to see aggression for what it is. We cannot bow down to aggression. You can't, let it happen. And so in Ukraine, you've got Ukrainians trying to fight, for their freedom. We have to help them. All they're asking for, arms and munitions. Just, by the way, most of that money is going to be spent here in the United States. Israel, obviously, it's our greatest ally. We have to help them face this threat. And I hope that the Biden administration is looking at ways that we can intercept as many of these drones that are coming Israel's way, because the fewer of them that get through, then actually the response from Israel can be proportional, and hopefully this doesn't get out of hand. But look, none of this is by coincidence. Weakness invites aggression, and this is what we're seeing.
Okay, listen, I'm getting word right now from the White House saying that Iran has begun an airborne attack against Israel. And that President Biden is being regularly updated on the situation by his national security team. And we're looking now at live pictures of the president landing there at Joint Base Andrews before he heads to the White House, again, for meetings with his national security team on this hot war that is now taking place in Israel. Your reaction to what I just read to you in terms of what's coming from the White House?
Yeah, well, I would hope that it would be all hands on deck from the White House and from the U.S. government, because it's a very serious situation that can get out of hand very quickly. And so, cooler heads have to prevail. But again, this is Israel being attacked directly by Iran. I'm sure that Israel is going to take some action against Iran, at least those areas where these attacks are coming from. And like I said before, this is because of the weakness. Look, your previous guest was right. This administration has demonstrated weakness in the face of Iran. They have lifted or failed to enforce many of the sanctions that are now putting billions of dollars into Iran's hands, which in turn they can use to build weapons, fund their proxies, and create chaos in the region. All because of the failed policies of this administration. I don't think this would have happened under President Trump. President Trump would have never allowed Iran to interfere in this fashion in the region, and he would have shown much greater strength against Iran, and given them a message that, hey, we're serious about protecting our allies and helping our allies, and if you go too far, we will respond. And so, again, this is a very serious situation, and hopefully,
Yes, indeed.
it won't escalate out of hand. It won't get out of hand, but it's very serious.
Congressman Jimenez, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, sir. Kari?
Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin now joining us on the very latest from Pentagon. Jennifer, welcome. What are you hearing about this attack, the drones heading toward Iran, and how the U.S. can or may be involved?
Well, what I can, let me back up and explain to you what U.S. Central Command, the White House, and the national security officials here at the Pentagon, as well as the White House, have been doing in recent days. It's very clear that they had very clear intelligence that Iran was planning a strike to retaliate for the April 1st attack in which Israel carried out that airstrike that killed the top IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps generals. You had U.S. Central Command General Eric Kurilla, who has been in Israel for the last 2 days, meeting with his counterparts in the Israeli Defense Ministry. They have been sharing the latest intelligence as well as coordinating any potential responses. The U.S. goal and the Pentagon goal in this, based on my conversations with U.S. officials, is to ensure that this does not spread to a wider conflict. There was an expectation, based on what Iran was saying, that Iran was going to retaliate. And so now the question is, will this be a proportional response, and will this be something that if no Israelis are killed or no Americans are killed, will there then be a further response? What we know the U.S. military has done is they have forward positioned some additional naval and air assets. They bases across the Middle East. Remember, you have U.S.
We'll play it.
U.S. troops in Iraq, 500 in Syria, 30,000 across the Middle East. You have an aircraft carrier strike group in the Red Sea, as well as 2 U.S. Navy warships in the Eastern Mediterranean that are equipped with Tomahawk missiles. The U.S. does not want to get involved in this. I think what we're seeing in terms of very careful diplomacy being led by U.S. Central Command and General Eric Kurilla, by meeting with his counterparts across the Middle East, is that they are trying to ensure that nobody overreacts and that this does not spread, because the U.S. does have a commitment to defend Israel and will be there if this escalates. So right now what we're seeing is likely, based on what the Israeli officials are saying and what some eyewitnesses on the ground in Iraq are saying, is dozens of Iranian drones that are heading en route to strike inside Israel. Remember, Israel has some of the greatest air defense systems in the
magical
world.
translocation can really upset the stomach.
There are Patriot missile
Just take a
batteries, as
moment
well
and
as
get
the
your
Iron
bearings,
Dome
all
and
right?
other missile
The
dispense
Isle of
capabilities.
Bolfiera,
So,
home
this
of
is
Clan
simply,
Darini. I
dozens
apologize for
of,
the cramped
Iranian
accommodations.
drones which
We
fly
pride
very
ourselves on
slowly,
courtesy,
as,
but
my
circumstances
colleagues
here have
reported.
taken a turn for
It
the
will take
bizarre.
several
I
hours
needed
within
to
the
make
next
sure
hour
you
or
weren't
two
a
that
danger to
before
yourself or
we'll know the
others.
location of where they plan to strike, but Israel has the air
You
defense
might not be
capability.
so
That's why
eager
we've
to
seen the
escape once
messaging
you
from
hear what's
Israel
going
for
on. You
people
arrive
to be
via a
close to
portal,
their
along with a
shelters, to stay
Daedric
home,
beast
for
called
schools to be
Shayazel.
canceled
It
tomorrow.
seized control
They
of
do
our
not
golems
want
and
any
unleashed
civilian
them on the
casualties,
island.
because
If
there are
I
Israeli
free you, will
casualties,
you
then
help
that
me
is going
stop
to
Shayazel?
escalate this further. So the U.S. on high alert.
Wise choice.
They do not
Just
want
give me a
the
moment.
U.S. military,
There.
based on
That should
conversations
unlock
I've
the
had
door.
in recent days and
When
weeks,
you're ready,
they do
follow
not want
me.
this to spread, and they're doing their best to contain this and to ensure that this does not escalate. My guess, given the telegraphing, Eric, that has occurred by Iran, usually Iran does not behave in this way. They carry out terrorist attacks, or they use proxy groups to target and catch the U.S. and others off guard. The fact that they've been telegraphing for days, and
There
the
you are,
intelligence has been
free
so
as a
clear,
spring cricket.
even with the
I hope
window
you
of
intend to
timing,
keep your
it's
word.
no surprise
We'll need
that
each
this is
other out
occurring
there.
tonight.
Of that I'm certain.
Suggests to
The
me
name's
that this will be
Norianwe,
a
by the
limited
way,
strike.
of
It
Clan
will be
Darini.
something that the
Pleased
Iranians
to make
can
your acquaintance.
propagandize for their own people and domestic consumption, to say that they have struck at
We're bound
Israel
for
in
a place called
retaliation
the
for
Key
that
Rights
airstrike on
Gallery.
April 1st.
But first,
But
I need to know you can
as we know, in
defend
the Middle
yourself.
East, things can go
Hurtling
awry,
through the
and
orbis
things
and
that
falling
we're in
flat
a
on your
very
ear left you a bit
moment,
scattered.
because
Find a
this
weapon,
is
and we'll work
historic,
out the
because Iran
cobwebs.
has never,
Fair.
and we don't know the target of those drones at this point, but it does look like they are headed towards Israel, and it would be the first time that Iran has struck from Iranian territory.
Of course.
Israeli
I can't
territory,
promise
and that
total
is,
transparency,
that
but
is
I'll be
an
as
escalation
forthcoming as I
in
can.
and of itself.
That is a major escalation and a major new chapter in Middle East history of Tehran directly striking the Jewish state. And you did point out something in terms of them waiting for the attack tonight. Number one, very public. Number two, these drones take hours. So
Yes,
Israel
I
knows
think that
exactly
one
where
suits
they
you.
are.
If you
They
change
have
your
more
mind, feel
AWACS
free to take any other weapon you want.
military
Now,
assets.
let's find a spot to
So in
practice.
that way, could this be more potentially the best scenario, more of a public type of demonstration by Iran versus a really savage attack? The fact, as you just pointed out, Iran waited apparently until the end of Shabbat. This is not like we're not a surprise. After Saturday night, the Sabbath is over, so that could indicate that in some ways
This is
may
as
be
good a place
more
as
of
any.
public posturing.
Now, prepare
That is as
yourself.
if
Well, I conjure
these
up a
drones
dance
do not
partner.
kill anybody, and if they're not followed up by cruise missiles.
I think it's much
Let's
more
begin.
similar to what we saw in the aftermath
Top
after
marks.
the U.S. killed Qasem Soleimani,
Well
the
done.
IRGC general
Now faster.
in Iraq, and then there was a telegraph
Well done.
and more expectation that Iran would
Brilliant.
respond.
Now do it
The target
again.
was pretty clear. It was an Iraq base that U.S. forces were using in
Ready
Iraq.
yourself.
And then
Quick,
the message was
strike while
delivered
it's off
from Iran
balance.
that they were done, and that there wasn't
You're
going to
unnatural.
be any further action, so that the U.S.
Protect
did not
yourself.
have to
Use your
respond
heaviest
and
attack.
escalate.
Raw
Now,
strength
here's the
that.
point, though.
Wonderful.
What I am
Rocket
doing in
strike.
terms of military
Strike
strategy,
hard,
losing
now.
the element of surprise is a
Now,
big,
some foes will
part
try to
of,
restrain you.
military tactics and strategy, and they lose the element of
Quickly,
surprise.
break
The
free.
fact that
You
Jordan
broke
closed its
loose.
airspace at a certain window of
You
time,
ready to break
the fact that
Ha!
the Iraqis,
You're unstoppable.
were expecting
Prepare yourself.
also, their
You're every
airspace
bit the
to be
warrior I thought
the
you'd be.
biggest open secret in the Middle East. The question is what will follow and whether
Now,
all parties
again,
remain
that was
disciplined,
quite a
or whether
blow.
the Iranian proxies
Again,
decide to
hold its attack.
get in on the game. You saw earlier today
Powerful
that,
strike.
Iran
Swiftly now,
overtook
interrupt it.
a civilian ship in the Strait of Hormuz.
When your
That is
enemy
an
prepares an
extreme
attack,
provocation. You
strike.
saw the statement from the
Interrupting
White
their
House.
attack will
The
set them off
president will
balance.
be meeting with his
Good,
national
now
security
destroy it.
team at the White House in
Well
the coming
done.
hours.
Come
I
speak
know
with me for a
fact
moment.
that here at the Pentagon, the people were here very, very late at night last night. They've been watching this. This is not coming as a surprise to the U.S. government or the U.S. intelligence community. There have been careful behind-the-scenes conversations to try and ensure that this remains very contained and does not get out of control.
Hopefully it will stay contained and out of control, as we had just seen. The presidential motorcade leave Andrews Air Force Base, the president en route to the White House after being in Rehoboth Beach, cutting short his weekend there, of course. A statement from the NSC spokesman Adrian Walsh saying, among other things, that the president's team is, quote, in constant communication with Israeli officials as well as other partners and allies. This attack, she says, is likely to unfold over a number of hours. President Biden has been clear. Our support for Israel's security is ironclad. The United States will stand with the people of Israel and support the defense against these attacks from Iran. Militarily, since you're at the Pentagon, how does the United States do that? Jen, how do we help?
With moves like that,
our ally,
the Daedra doesn't
strongest
stand a
ally,
chance.
at least try
Yes,
to
I'd say
repel
we're
and
ready to
respond
set out.
the terrorists from Tehran.
Well, again, right now, I think if I were, this is just based on my assessment at this point, I don't think the U.S. military, unless
To
something
reach the
goes
Kirites
terribly wrong,
gallery,
the US
we have to
military,
make it
I
out
would
of
not
this ruin
expect
and
to be
across a
involved
wide
in any
field
sort
full of the
response.
golems I
They will
mentioned.
be there
With any
in
luck,
case
we'll be able to
Israel
slip
can't
past them.
handle,
But I'm not all
you
that
know,
lucky.
the defense
So I'm
measures
sorry
that are
in
already
advance.
in place in terms of missile defense.
Well,
in case
it begins with the
something,
door,
goes off
the
track.
first of many. The only way
Remember,
to
let's
access
remember
the
the
gallery
assets
is
that
through a
the US military
mysterious
and the US Navy
gateway.
has in the region.
Once
You
we
have
pass
not
through that
only
initial
bases
door,
across the
we'll
region,
step
across
into a
the Gulf,
huge vault.
you have
This is the part that
aircraft
worries
carrier
me
strike group
most.
led by that's the USS Eisenhower, that's accompanied by several destroyers in the Red Sea. You have two U.S. Navy warships in the Eastern Mediterranean.
I believe Shayazel, the
is
Daedric
very,
creature
very
that's
well
causing all this
positioned
mischief, may have
across the
nested
Middle East and
itself in
has
there.
been so since
So be
October
prepared to
7th, since
fight.
the attack
by Hamas inside of
I
Israel.
can't say anything with
That is why
certainty,
the resupply
but
of
ridding the
weapons
world
and
of an
especially
otherworldly
ammunition as
abomination
well
can't
as
hurt, right?
missile defense,
Its influence might linger for a
missiles
time,
has been
but
so
the
key, and
golems
that's
should
why
return
the
to normal
Biden
before too
administration,
long.
the White House, and Pentagon have
Hopefully.
kept those supplies of weapons going to Israel so that it does not get into a position that, like we see in Ukraine, where they are short of artillery or defensive missile weapons. So that's what I expect to see. I expect to see the full force of the Israeli Air Force, which is extremely capable, as well as their missile defense shield, will be tested tonight. The question is whether Hezbollah decides to get in on the game. They have not in the past. As our colleagues have reported, there are 150,000 missiles in Lebanon that could be targeted into Israel. If Lebanon, through Hezbollah and other Iranian proxies, decided to simultaneously strike Israel, that is what would then trigger the U.S. getting involved further. My guess is that Iran is going to keep missiles from Iran to Israel tonight, and that this will be a significant show of force for the cameras, and it will be very, there will probably be, the night skies will be lit up at some point with Israeli missile defense shooting down these drones. And I think Iran will be able to go to their people tomorrow and say that they struck back and retaliated. But I think I would be very surprised if Hezbollah and others decided to strike at this moment, because they know that the U.S. is poised to intervene if Israel is in any way, shape, or form overwhelmed in the coming hours.
We can only hope that Hezbollah and the Houthis keep their powder dry, and as you said, this is contained to at least these drones. Israeli fighter jets have scrambled to face them, as it is a slow motion attack unfolding against Israel right now by Iran. Jennifer Griffin, as always, at the Pentagon. I know you'll be standing by with the latest. Jen, we'll get back to you soon. Thank you.
And right now, let's bring in Dr. Rebecca Grant. She's IRS Independent Research President. So, Dr. Grant, I want to pick up where Jen just left off, and she is reporting, based on her expertise, and reporting that Iran basically will more than likely use this strike as propaganda, and not expecting Tehran to employ Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas. How do you see it?
Oh, I think Jennifer's made an excellent point. And the important thing here is this attack has already been launched. Israel has picked up those indications. And let's remember ourselves that it was just back in November that Israel, an F-35 Lightning strike fighter, actually shot down a Houthi cruise missile. So Iran has to know that Israel, with its Iron Dome air defenses and its integrated air defense, including fighters, has a really good chance.
Set them up with medium armor.
Of these drones coming in.
And so, Dr. Brent, I'm going to read a statement from you that's coming in from Iran's Revolutionary Guards, saying that it has targeted specific places in Israel by launching dozens of drones and missiles. Israel Channel 12 TV saying Iran has also launched cruise missiles at Israel with shorter flight times than drones. Again, this is from Israel's Channel 12 TV saying that Iran has also launched cruise missiles at Israel with a shorter flight time than drones.
Let's be on our way. A word of warning, though. Some of the golems may wander the halls ahead. There shouldn't be many of them, but as my master used to say, prudence is victory's prophet. Sorry, he was very keen on weird proverbs. Well, it begins with the door, the first of many. The only way to access the gallery is through a mysterious gateway. Once we pass through that initial door, we'll step into a huge vault. This is the part that worries me most.
To cool it and hold off. Iran is not popular in this region. The other states do not like the mischief that they have created with the terrorism and the support for Hamas. And this attack
I believe Shayazel, the Daedric creature that's causing all this mischief, may have nested itself in there. So be prepared to fight. I can't say anything with certainty, but ridding the world of an otherworldly abomination can't hurt, right? Its influence might linger for a time, but the golems should return to normal before too long.
And not a lot of damage is done when Iran feels they responded. But it is definitely not going to win Iran any fronts in the region.
And if you, like you said, Dr. Grant, if in fact the air defense system that Israel has there, Iron Dome, or perhaps any fighter jets that could shoot these incoming missiles down, I would ask you that if that doesn't hit the people there in Tel Aviv, as you did this live shot, 11:49, a gorgeous city, the people
Almost
on
there.
edge.
Let's hurry.
We hope that nothing happens there as the Israeli defense forces prepare. But let me ask you, if in fact that happens,
Right.
just
The
point out
entrance to
that
Kiri's
it doesn't
gallery
actually
should be
hit the ground
east of
there, but
here.
Iran
Let's set
can
out.
go ahead and say, look, we did respond. We did send a warning over to Israel. Would that be enough? Do you think that this, even though they're saying that this initially, they were saying that this is going to be done in multiple phases, but do you think that perhaps this would be enough? The world is watching. Iran has made its point. We have the power to create havoc.
Well, they've made their point, but they've also done this in a way to literally telegraph the incoming round, giving Israel the best possible chance of shooting down and intercepting. And that tells me that Iran is a little bit nervous as to what Israel could do in retaliation. Iran may make such bad decisions that they felt they have to make this strike, but I don't know that they're going to want to repeat this kind of strike. And certainly, if these missiles and drones hit Israel, then Israel is justified to retaliate. So Iran is playing a dangerous game here, but this doesn't impress me, and this is not going to impress other states in the region. This is not going to impress China. This is not even going to impress Russia. I mean, they really are this type of attack. They're trying to make a propaganda statement and hope that they don't get too much retaliation.
Yeah, and when you're saying that they're not going to get backing from Russia or China, that says a lot. And you know, I'm going to ask this question. I think I know the answer, but let me ask you: does Iran really want a kinetic war with U.S. military involved?
Oh, Iran knows that the Israelis alone can do a lot of damage. I mean, just look at the strike that was carried out April 1st. Other strikes that Israel can be very, very precise. If you are a mullah or a leader in Iran and you just launched drones and missiles at Israel, you would be very worried about your personal safety at this point. Now, Russia and China will still support him in a way, but again, the mullahs are going to have to be concerned about their own safety after taking this type of step.
So as you just pointed out, Iran's they don't even want any retaliation, full force retaliation from Israel, let alone any potential involvement with the U.S. military. That said, what happens now? I mean, here we are again. It's almost midnight there in Tel Aviv, in Israel. What happens now? Do you think, Dr. Grant?
So right now, Israel's forces are
The Kiri's gallery is in here. Let's head inside.
What they're seeing, what they're attempting to track that, to see where they're headed, and to allocate shots basically between what Iron Dome will do to defend and what the fighter jets that they have up. Another important thing, of course, we have U.S. military forces throughout the region, from Syria down to Iraq and the
Well,
Red
this is
Sea.
upsetting.
And believe me yourself, those forces are on very high alert for
Hews
protection.
Bane. The surge of magicka created by the portals you came through. Must have cracked this sky shard. Without a functioning sky shard, this gate remains locked, and there's no way for us to proceed. Damn.
Identify that attack if it's coming and do it.
Unless you have a set of enchanting tools and a working knowledge of meteoric empowerment theory, no, there's nothing for it. You need to find a replacement.
Perhaps making phone calls to Tehran saying, what are you doing, and stop it.
I saw one in a vault just south of here a few days ago, but it was flanked by one of the island's more powerful golems. Normally, I'd say we should search for another option, but given the circumstances, I think we have to risk it.
Do not do it, just like President Biden has said, do not do this. And so is there behind-the-scenes diplomacy phone calls? Yes. But Iran is a terrible theocracy.
Let's not tarry too long, though.
Supports terrorism. Are they going to listen? I don't know. But they have chosen to telegraph this military response. And that tells me they are a little bit worried about what Israel may do in return. They're trying to get off the strike, save face, and hope that they don't get hit too hard in retaliation.
As we really quickly, 20 seconds, Dr. Grant, wrapping up, do you think that this is going to escalate, or do you think that this is going to de-escalate?
I'm hoping that Iran will be deterred from doing anything further, and I'm
All right.
really hoping
Do you
Israel
see
will
that
knock
vault to the
down
south?
a big chunk
The sky
of
shot is
any
there.
of those cruise missiles or drones that may be heading towards Tel Aviv. I put my money on Israel to shoot down a whole lot of them.
Well, Dr. Grant, we always appreciate your expertise. Thank you for joining us on this very tense day, and we will speak to you again probably tomorrow, the next few hours in our Fox News. Thank you, Dr. Grant.
Thank you.
As you can see in the long shot of Tel Aviv, just as we approach midnight, Israel. To recap, Iran reportedly launching dozens, if not more, drones toward Israel. This is the first time that the Islamic Islamic regime has directly attacked the Jewish state on its own territory. Some reports said earlier that Iran was not only preparing the drones, but also cruise missiles for potential attack.
There it is, the sky shot.
That cruise missiles or further type of elements are involved in any potential attack, just as it stands right now. Reports from the IDF and others that attack drones are on their way to attack Israel. The encouraging news is that Iran has been attacked with these type of drones, or Israel has been attacked with these type of Iranian drones in the past.
What?
They've been
Did
shot
you
down
just
by
absorb the
David Sling,
energy of
by
that shot?
helicopters, as well as by
Incredible.
Israeli IDF
Not quite what I intended,
fighter
but we
jets.
can work
So
with this.
they know where these
Let's head
drones
back to the
are,
gate.
they know where some of them are, they can reach them and attack them and try to bring them down. It does not know exactly what targets the Iranians have prepared to try and hit, but as of right now, the state of Israel on war alert with an attack incoming from Iran. The world must hope for peace, and that does not spread beyond that. More breaking news from Israel. John Scott next, here on the Fox News Channel.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and ensure complete with 30 grams of protein.
All right.
All these games on DirecTV
It
no
was
satellite on the
the
moon.
button to the power of
Blue
your
Jays,
door and unlock the gate.
Orioles. What's missing? The Indian conduit? No, walnut brain. Pigeons. They'd rather name a team after socks. Yeah, we're not.
Buy 100% free with TurboTax-free edition.
I'm afraid we've reached the really scary bit. The Daedric creature responsible for all these portals waits just beyond that gate. If you have any other preparations to make them now. Again, I'm just a scholar, but I'd encourage you to remember what we practiced before. Keep moving, strike true, and exploit any opening the creature gives you.
Stand tall. Somebody would ask for something and she would just walk right past them. She didn't know they were talking to her.
I was hesitant to get hearing aids.
There it is! Send it back to oblivion!
I'm using the invisible humans. Just one reason we've been threatened. When I finally hear the first hear everything.
Wither and die. You cannot kill what cannot die.
Are exactly how you want with cargo. Where do you get to wonder?
You did it! Hopefully the gallery wasn't too badly damaged. Follow me! By all the stars! Look at the central column. I had no idea it was concealing something like this. Let's get a closer look.
This brand new ride is the industry's first fully foldable e-bike designed for top people, including a line of accessories made exclusively for the XP 3.0. This e-bike design is your gateway to an elevated and powerful adventure with fully
This
foldable
is the Key Rides gallery.
Best of all,
Perhaps I remember
brand new
it.
optimized gear makes riding at higher speeds smoother than ever. Visit electricebikes.com and come ride with us.
Now I see why we never managed to unlock the gates. Their power comes from this arcane helix. Amazing. With the helix exposed, these gates can finally reopen. Perhaps not all of them at first, but enough to reach most of Tamriel. The question for you, I suppose, is where to first? Can you believe this? Just look around. With this arcane helix exposed, the chamber is positively crackling with magic. The Keyrights gallery has come to life, and I finally think I know why.
So easy to apply. This routine gives you natural looking
Because of
coverage
you,
and a beautiful
matters in
progression.
Tamriel are
Learn more
bleak.
about daily routine
War
at
rages in
Auridon.
Cyrodiil. Daedric princes conspire.
Find a great deal.
Dragons
Your
ride
idea
the
of
wings
attack.
of Elsewhere.
Open Chicago.
The second
Type in where
era
you
needs
want to
a
go.
savior.
Select
I
your
believe
check-in
the
and
gallery.
checkout dates.
Perhaps even the
Search.
adamantine tower itself.
Compare prices for the
Chose
same
you.
hotel and save up to $30.
The Keyrights gallery opened doors to every corner of Tamriel. Places I suspect that desperately need a hero's aid. This choice is yours to make, but wherever you choose to go, I'm sure adventure awaits. May the stars protect you. So, have you chosen where to go? What region of the world strikes your fancy? Not everyone gets to pass instantly from one side of Tamriel to another, you know. This is quite a gift. It is a bit overwhelming, isn't it? The whole of Tamriel is stretched out before you. We could start with the political considerations. 3 great alliances vie for control of Cyrodiil. Does the fate of the Pact, Covenant, or Dominion interest you? Excellent. You can visit Stros Mackay in Daggerfall Covenant territory, an island called Kenarthi's Roost that the Aldmeri Dominion set its eyes on.
If and when those drones approach Israel. Trey Yates is live in Tel Aviv with the latest. Trey.
Yeah, John, good evening. An unprecedented moment in the Middle East. Iran has launched a direct attack against Israel. There are dozens of drones in the sky right now headed toward this country. According to our sources, Israeli jets have been dispatched. The Israelis hoping to shoot down some of these drones before they reach their airspace. This moment also comes at a time where American forces are in the region and they have pledged to help the Israelis defend against such an attack that is taking place. We do understand Israeli airspace will close in about 30 minutes to commercial aircraft.
Okay.
The Iranians have already issued
We'll go about the same way, but we gotta go to the
right now, Reuters
Thieves
is
part of
reporting
it.
that the Jordanians
So
have declared a state of emergency
let's
amid
see.
the tension escalating across the Middle East. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps confirming that they've launched this attack, and the Israelis are meeting at this hour at the Kiryat here in Tel Aviv, Israel's version of the Pentagon, to determine an Israeli response. Remember, this all started earlier this month when the Israelis targeted the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, killing 2 top Iranian generals and 5 other members of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. And tonight, the Israelis determining how they will respond. The Home Front Command here in Israel, responsible for alerting civilians about the state of emergency across this country, have limited public gatherings and canceled all educational activities. We do expect these instructions to be updated as these drones get closer to Israel and the reports about additional missiles being fired toward Israel develop. John.
Trey, I know these are all brand new developments. You probably haven't had a lot of time to spend on the street, but do you get a sense of what the mood is? I mean, to look at the background behind you, looks like life goes on as normal in Tel Aviv.
Absolutely. For days, defense officials here have been preparing for this attack, and they have been trying to keep the public calm. Everyone from the top military spokesman Daniel Hagari to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have come out with similar statements telling the public to remain calm and that Israel
That's
is
Kenarthi's
prepared.
Roost,
Remember,
a
the Israelis
Khajiit
have
Isle with
variety
emerging
of
ties to the
air defense
Aldmeri
systems.
Dominion.
Not only
Sea
the Iron
elves have
Dome
been
for
flexing their
short-range
muscles in that
rockets
part
and
of the
missiles,
Topal
they
Bay.
also have David Sling, an intermediate missile defense system.
We submit
and
to
also
your
the
will and
arrow
call
system
forth the
that is
chains of
capable
cold.
They're performing a ritual, preparing the way for a dark anchor.
Open rift to oblivion.
It's worse than we thought. The main melt has begun.
The portals reach from our side to theirs. That means there is a traitor.
Perhaps it was simply arrogance. Perhaps it was all part of his grand scheme. Who can know the logic of a Daedric prince?
Claims it fulfills a prophecy in those wretched scrolls of his.
Imagine seeing your nemesis succeed where you failed.
Let the way be open.
I am patient.
Let the will of Moloch Baal be denied.
This world will one day be mine.
It will take them hours to get here, and the concern from Israeli forces tonight is twofold. One has to do with the possibility that the Iranians will try to time this attack so that when the drones arrive in Israeli airspace, they will also have launched ballistic and cruise missiles to arrive at the same time and try to overwhelm Israel's missile defense. And then the other X factor in all of this, John, has to do with Iranian proxies across the region, namely the Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen, who have the capability to launch drones and missiles themselves. And of course, Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon that has been at a slow but continuous war with Israel since October 8th. Hezbollah has precision-guided missiles and drones. They have the capability to target major population centers, including Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, where we are reporting from tonight. So again, the Israelis are determining at this hour what their response to this attack will be. But this attack is very much ongoing as we speak. It is unprecedented. We are in uncharted territory right now as Iran has launched a direct attack against Israel. John.
Trey Yates reporting
He's got a
live
vocal
from
there.
Tel Aviv. Doing a great job. Thank you, Trey.
I don't care to say. Where do you? I can take you to Vukhul.
To meet with his national security team at the White House. That's where Jackie Heinrich is. She has the latest live from there. Jackie.
Well, John, it was just yesterday that President Biden issued that warning to Iran, don't, at the same time saying he expected some action from Iran sooner rather than later. Now that it's underway, he has cut short his weekend stay.
You are the ones.
He's landed at Joint Base Andrews and is on his way back to the White House via motorcade. That means we won't get a chance to ask him any questions as he enters the White House. Typically, we would do that if he was coming by helicopter, but he will be in a motorcade, so we won't be able to approach him. He's going to be having a key meeting with the principal actors from his National Security Council, including Secretary Blinken, the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, also the CIA Director, Homeland Security Director, Director of National Intelligence, senior advisors, and then also National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and the NSC Coordinator for the Middle East, Brett McGurk. They're going to be watching what is happening, discussing what they expect targets to be inside of Israel, and of course, based on what happens in the next few hours, communicating with Israel to make sure that whatever response they give is proportionate. The U.S. has been clear that it stands with Israel and will help Israel defend itself, but also the U.S. has been trying to avoid further escalation in the region. National Security Council tells us that they expect this attack to unfold over a matter of hours. The president has been regularly updated as he made his way back from Delaware, and he's also been talking to U.S. partners and allies. We are waiting for questions to be answered by the National Security Council on which allies and partners he's been communicating with, and if they are also going to be supporting Israel potentially in any efforts to intercept the incoming that's headed their way. Also, the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and Biden's Chief of Staff are going to be joining this Situation Room meeting by secure video conference. They're going to be watching what develops there. We do have, as Jennifer Griffin has been reporting on our air, assets positioned in the Middle East to be able to assist Israel if it becomes overwhelmed in whatever response is headed its way. We have not yet gotten any indication.
I think we're looking for Quinn. He'll give us the quest.
Coming from other areas in the region, except for what we already discussed coming out of Iran. But of course, we're watching for that, and also any intelligence on what the intended targets are, and if that would include civilian areas. So we are awaiting any update that the White House National Security Council can offer us as we watch this all unfold. John.
Jackie, I know that this is the first time. This is a historic attack. It's the first time that Iran has launched an attack from its own soil on Israel. It has preferred to use its proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas to do the dirty work up till now.
Dipping our hands.
Anyone at the White House expressing surprise? I had read intelligence evaluations that said they would be surprised if Iran launched an attack from its own soil.
Well, the reason that it is surprising is because in the past, when you've had Iranian proxies basically doing the work of Iran, that ensured that whatever retaliation follows isn't happening within Iranian territory. And that further stokes the disruption in the region that really Iran does want to see. They want to see the fighting happening in other areas because that also ramps up the concerns of all of their proxy groups and sort of rallies them together. But having this come from Iran itself is certainly unusual. The president did say yesterday that he expected it to happen sooner than later. So there was obviously intelligence that this was something that they were watching. And now that it has
Greetings.
begun, how the U.S. responds to that, how Israel responds to that, is going to be carefully considered and proportionate to whatever casualties may happen.
Jackie Heinrich reporting live from the White House. Jackie, thank you. Let's bring in Jamil Jaffer now. He is the executive director and founder at the National Security Institute, former associate White House counsel to President George W. Bush. Jamil, take on that point for me, if you would. Iran has never before attacked Israel directly. This is the first time they have done so. What's the significance of Iran?
Well, it's obviously a huge step for Iran to take. They've been hitting Israel through proxies for the better part of a decade, going after U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria, hitting commercial shipping in the Red Sea. But to go directly toe-to-toe with Israel is sure to provoke a response, and not just from Israel, but potentially from the United States. We will certainly take action to defend Israel, as the President said, if we need to. But it may go further than that if, in fact, Israel feels the need to respond to this Iranian aggression.
So we're looking at the map now as you're speaking. You've got Iraq and Jordan between Israel and Iran. Would there be an overflight by Israeli jets, or would you expect some response using missiles? What kind of a counterattack might Israel launch?
Well, there's certainly a possibility that the Israelis could decide to overfly that territory in order to hit Iran. There's a variety of methods they could use. They could use responsive missiles. The first question, though, right now is how are they going to knock these drones out of the sky? There are photographs, the Times of Israel has photographs of these Shahed 136 drones flying over the land of Iraq. The reports are right now dozens. The normal Iranian tactic is to send many of these trying to overwhelm the air defenses. So we'll see how many they've sent. These drones are, by the way, the same ones that have been used against American forces in Iraq and Syria. They've been used against Ukrainian forces in the Russian war. The Iranians have given these drones to them. They're also used by Yemen, by the Houthis in Yemen, against Saudi forces. So these are sort of the classic Iranian attack drones, suicide drones, that will sort of have about a 110-pound warhead on them that could cause some significant damage, particularly if they get through Israeli air defenses.
You've got U.S. forces in the Mediterranean Sea, and presumably they're going to be able, with radar sweeps and so forth, they're going to be able to help take down some of these drones as well, right?
That's exactly right, John. The U.S. just moved another 2 ships into the Mediterranean. We were told by U.S. forces that at least one of those has the Aegis missile defense system. That's a very fast, automated missile defense system that can select targets and prosecute them rapidly along the lines, as Trey was saying, of David Sling and Iron Dome. So these systems actually can work pretty well in concert together to take out whatever Iran puts up. So I think we're looking at a situation, depending on how many the Iranians launch, where Israel could effectively defend itself, but there's always the possibility somebody to get through. And if ultimately people are dying in Israel as a result of this Iranian attack, you will almost certainly see a significant Israeli response. The question then becomes, what will the United States do if, in fact, Iran directly kills Israeli civilians inside of Israel?
I suppose it's difficult to crawl into the minds of the mullahs in Iran, but something made them decide to launch this attack, again, from Iranian territory, which they've never done before. Are they just that angry about what happened at their consulate? Are they thinking that now they are strong enough to make this attack work? Why now?
Well, I think they think that the
Not in here. Shit.
don't want to war with them. They are assessing that the U.S. will not engage based on our prior activities. The fact that we haven't directly engaged Ukraine, the fact that we haven't directly gone into the war with Israel and Hamas, the fact that we're not effectively pushing back against China and Taiwan, the fact that we ripped back the Obama administration the Syria red line. So I think the Iranians assess the U.S. won't engage except to defend Israel. They won't engage offensively, and they believe Israel is distracted with the war with Hamas and the attack by Hezbollah, another Iranian proxy. And so they're thinking maybe they can get away with this and respond to this attack on the consulate and respond to prior U.S. attacks like the Trump administration's killing of Qasem Soleimani a few years back after American soldiers were killed in Iraq and Syria.
But You know, this changes everything. I mean, from now on, Iran is going to be open to Israeli attack, and the Israelis have plenty of weaponry. I mean, they might seem distracted, but it doesn't seem like they're going to let this simply be a bygone.
No, that's exactly right. Particularly if Israeli civilians die, I don't think they will let it be a bygone. And the Israelis have a very long memory. They have a history of hunting down those that kill Israelis all over the world. They will go to any length. And the Israelis have demonstrated.
Oh, it's not in the store.
Inside of Iran, we've seen a lot of Iranian nuclear scientists over the years blow up mysteriously, bombs and extra cars and the like.
Used to be at the nearest one. One of these guys was Quinn. Talk to Quinn. Then you go to Hews Bane. Okay.
They promised a significant response after then President Trump
They changed it.
spoke to the leader of the Revolutionary Guard.
They certainly changed it. Okay.
A week or two ago, about 2 weeks ago. They promised a big response against the United States, but there really wasn't much that happened. Are they more bark than bite, do you think?
Okay. We'll stop here then for now. And I'll find out where he is. Alright guys, peace out. This is a little sub-series, which has no effect on the storyline or anything, so don't worry about that. That's why I'm doing it separately, so I'm going to mark it all down separately, so. Okay guys, take it easy, eh? Stay tuned.